Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Welcome to my, for the first half of the year, worst makeup releases according to me. I just did a video talking about all the best releases according to me, so that is up on my channel if you guys are interested. I'll try to pin it in the cards as well. These products here are a lot less than the best of beauty. I'm gonna break them up into categories. You guys are gonna see me applying everything to my face. I do hope that you enjoy. Let's get into it. All right, that was short and sweet, but I do want to mention, I can pretty much find a redeeming quality in like any product. So some of these aren't necessarily terrible, like trash worthy, I would say, but all of them I set aside to declutter, either because I'm like mad I spent my money on them. They're not better than some of my other products, and or they were just like kind of disappointing. So like they can fill a lot of different categories. So hopefully when I'm talking about that, I'm like describing it to you guys that I could see why some people might like them and it might work for them. But most of these I would tell you are not worth spending your money on. I would like divert you elsewhere. There are just other products on the market that are better and can do similar things. So let's start off in the eye products category. Let's start off with these Urban Decay 24/7 like glitter liquid shadows. I didn't know that you had to shake these. So you do, you have to shake them. These come with a brush tip on the inside, and that's the reason that you have to really shake these. Otherwise, the product is not going to actually touch the brush tip because the brush tip is like really short. I originally thought, oh my gosh, what are we going to do when the product gets too low? You're not going to be able to get the brush tip in there, so you're going to have to get your own doe foot applicator, but you can shake these. My only concern with these is that this isn't like a liquid enough formula that you can just keep shaking it if you use it down to like the bottom, where it's going to still move around high enough to touch that brush tip. Also, these brush tips, I have to say, like they were super duper crunchy when they were in store. So like you have to twist this cap, which doesn't twist super easily, to make sure that you close the product all the way. Like those are just product flaw things. The formula itself, it's not bad. It's pretty decent. The thing is, it goes on pretty nice. It dissipates. Like over an hour, it fades to basically just sparkles with no base, and it's gone by the end of the day. Like I wanted it to last. I didn't think these were like trash worthy. I'll probably keep these in my collection if I'm being completely honest. The thing is, for $26, they're basically like glitter that barely stays all day. They fade off very quickly. I'm the kind of person that I'm up and I'm ready at like 6:50 in the morning and I go until 10 o'clock at night. So I'm putting my makeup through the ringer for sure. Definitely because it's humid. I tend to have oily eyelids, but even if you set these, they don't stay. They just don't last. I don't care for the packaging. They could have done a doe foot applicator and I feel like that would have been better. Also, these shades, they're really similar and you cannot even tell the difference when they get to the eyes. I just would have rather spend my money, $26, on something different than these, gotten a little bit of a different packaging, and I wish that they just lasted. I wish it was just a formula that just showed up more, didn't turn into straight sparkles, and just lasted longer. I mean, that's pretty much it. There's good and bad with this product, but I overwhelmingly wasn't thrilled that I spent $26 a piece on these products. All right, similarly with this, I have another one. This was a shade extension release for this year. This is the Glitter Puck in Cyber Diamond. I really wanted Dopamine Sparkle. I lusted after that for so long, but the formula was so creamy you could stick your finger in it. This one came out more dry, so I had like more hope that this was gonna be a better formula. I was just underwhelmed by this. After about an hour, it just turns into straight glitter that gets all over your face. It doesn't stay even with like a glitter glue, which I tend to use quite a bit. I have several in my collection. It just doesn't stay with either one that I use. The NYX one, I have one from Moira. Both of those typically do well, especially with like indie brand shadows that are a little bit more thick. This just doesn't stay. And now I know that this isn't a product that is specifically designed for your eyes. It's also for your face, your body, all of those things. I feel like if you use this all over the body, there would be too much base. Like I could just see this looking like a glitter shadow if you tried to like put this on your chest or your legs or something like that. So I would even say this is more an eyeshadow than anything. And maybe it was because the formula was even more dry that it kind of applied like a powder, if you will, in the sense that it just like fell off, that it wouldn't stay even with the glitter glue, and there was barely any sparkle left by the end of the day. You just lose a lot of the base that was happening when it originally goes on. And I'm not even sure it's a base. I think it's more like a dense sparkle that's just being applied, that like the more that it falls, the more that's just like glitter left. So again, 30 bucks, $29.50 for this. I lusted after the other one. I kind of like it, but it wasn't my favorite because the formula didn't dry out or that it was super wet. So I don't know. I was hoping for more with this one, and I kind of feel like I deserved what I got because I wanted the formula to be drier. I just didn't like the way that it looked. So overall, I think these are just pretty looking. I don't absolutely love these. on the eyes. It's a crap ton of product though for $29.50. Like, you get your money's worth out of this if you like it, especially if you want to use it all over the body. It wasn't a purchase that I felt like was a good use of my money. Let's turn to complexion products next. I think we can all agree this is probably not the best product that's out there. It's the L'Oreal Lumi Light Glow Tint, and this one is in the shade 100 Cool. This is basically metallic. It does emphasize a lot of texture. I won't say that it wears terribly on the skin because it doesn't break apart because it's a really thin formula, so it does sink in. It's just like, it's just metallic. It just has like a ton of light reflection. There's a crap ton of pearls in it. And so if you wanted to wear this like by itself and you weren't looking for it to last very long, I don't know where you would wear this. Like to the beach maybe, you know, over like a sunscreen or something if you just wanted like a little bit of coverage, but this actually has a decent amount of coverage. I would say it's like light buildable medium. It's just metallic. Anything metallic typically will emphasize texture, and I'm just not about products that emphasize a lot of texture. I just don't know that L'Oreal needed this. I don't hear an overwhelmingly positive review on this particular product. Again, I will reiterate though, like it doesn't wear terrible, so I don't hate it. It's just like you can't deny the fact that it is a metallic finish and that it just overly emphasizes everything. So that's my big gripe with it. It's not a product that is necessary for me. I could see this not like wearing super well on a lot of people, especially if you had like more oily skin and whatnot. So I would say save your money. L'Oreal does such good base products in so many other ways. Like this just wasn't a hit of theirs. I think similarly about this, and I know there's a lot of people that are liking it. This is the Milk Hydro Grip Gel Tint. So let's start off with the fact that I'm not a huge fan of like gel tints in general. Most of them are a little bit too thick for me. They don't sink into the skin. They tend to break apart when I start sweating or getting oily, or, you know, my oils are just being produced naturally. And so they tend to break apart formulas like this. It does not do that. So let me start with that. I almost like this. It doesn't sit terribly on the skin. It doesn't wear terribly on the skin. You can powder over this and it's somewhat decent looking and more like medium coverage overall. I could see this working for people who don't have a crap ton of texture, but that's pretty much where it stops for me. This again just overemphasizes all of the texture on my face. I prefer a formula that's just a lot more smoothing than this. It's not a super long wearing product. I can't say that like it looks the best as the day goes on. It looks decent when you first apply it. Just, it's overall not a favorite product of mine. I honestly think if you have any kind of texture, this is a product that I would stay away from. I like that it's not an overly thick formula, and I think that's probably the only reason that I'll say that it just doesn't have redeeming qualities for my preference and skin type. Instead of like, it absolutely sucks, throw it away immediately. Like, that's all I can kind of say about it. If you have similar preferences to me, I would say save your money. Don't buy this. Okay, this one saddens me though. Really, it does. This is from Westman Atelier. This is her Vital Skincare Concealer, and this one is in the shade Atelier L2. I feel like I want to love Westman Atelier products. Bronzer though, the liquid bronzer, absolute favorite from this year, 100%. This was also, this I was hoping would land kind of like in the similar category for me, that I really love this product. The problem is it is just too thick. I like a full coverage concealer, but you know, it has to be something that's really thin on my under eyes. This creases, it looks very dry, it is very thick. There's just nothing redeeming about it for me personally, other than it is full coverage. Just doesn't wear well on me. Now, somebody who's maybe like a little bit younger or applies less coverage because they're trying to conceal less, this might be a product that works. I just find like anything dry under the under eyes for me these days is just not working. So this is not a product that works for me personally. Again, you might find use in a product like this if you conceal yet less, hydrate differently, don't have dry under eyes, that sort of thing. It's just, it's not for me in all the reasons that I told you. All right, I think this is another one that's getting pretty positive reviews. It is not for me, and it kind of goes along with its counterpart. This is the Kosas Revealer Extra Bright Under Eye Corrector. I still have mine in the box here. Mine's in the shade Magic, which is like the lightest color correcting shade. This didn't stray far away from the concealer for me. This has never been a formula that has worked for me under my under eyes. I don't know why it works for so many people. It seems like it would, but this settles into every fine line and looks super duper dry on my under eyes. The concealer did the same thing, like immensely dry on my under eyes. It never looked good on me, never flattering. And also, I had a hard time finding like a shade match. The shade match in Magic is really good for my lighter complexion, 100%. The problem is like the minute I put it on, It doesn't conceal enough if I just do one dot, so I try to use a little bit more. It doesn't conceal 100%, so therefore I would want to put concealer on top, but when I blend it out, it already looks too heavy, like kind of cakey at that moment, and definitely looks really dry. I try and get up close with the camera so you can see like how dry my under eye looks. I don't know why so many people get along with the freaking concealer and I don't. I've heard a couple of you say that you feel the same way, but most of the people who try the Kosas Revealer Concealer and the color corrector seem to have really good look. I just don't. I must have like the driest under eyes or something. All right, this is another one that I was really sad about, and it's not a formula thing, it's 100% shade. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Smooth Blur Contour, and mine's in the shade Halftone, which is the lightest shade. Formula is fabulous on this. It's creamy, it's blendable, it's not too pigmented, it's really like a velvet matte finish. I like all of that, but guys, it turns green. Like I apply it and it looks okay, but then the more it sits on my face, like it oxidizes and it turns green. That is legitimately the only reason I don't like this. I told you, formula is fabulous, good lasting power, all of the good stuff. If you guys got this formula and you got it in a different shade, or maybe it just doesn't turn green on you. Maybe it's like an undertone thing on me, but yeah, it immediately starts turning green on my skin tone. And I feel like it's quite obvious. Like I feel like you can even see it on camera. So I don't know what that's about. I'm just assuming that the formula is oxidizing on me, and it oxidizes so fast. So love the formula, don't love the shade. Okay, let's move on to blush. I feel like all of these are from the drugstore with one exception. This one is from Revolution. It's the Beam Bright Blush in Pink Party. They came out with the highlighters last year and I knew that they were on the dry side, but I was kind of hoping with like a shimmery blush formula that they would do a little bit better. I freaking hate these. Hate these. I actually think this product is quite garbage. I don't think you should spend your money on this. It looks like sparkle. It has very little base, so it's like mostly this really metallic finish with sparkles on top. It doesn't last long. It doesn't even apply evenly. I don't find any redeeming quality in this. I have not had a good experience not testing it over and over and over again. Every single time I absolutely hated it. There were even times where I tested it, put it on, didn't like it, took it off, tried a different brush, and it still came out a little bit patchy. I tend to use a pretty dense brush when applying this so I can get like a more even application, but for whatever reason it does not pick up very well on like a fluffy brush. And it looks splotchy and terrible. So yeah, I don't like the finish. I don't like the way this applies. I don't like that it's glittery. It transfers like, no, this is a no for me. This next one I could actually see working for some people, just depending upon your preferences. I just don't like it. It's the Lip and Cheek Balm from ColourPop, and this one's in the shade It's a Look. It's a cream blush and it's radiant. You know, it's going down the road of things that I would normally like, but it's sticky. I don't like the popsicle stain effect that it gives. It's just not like super even pigment. Hate that. Hate the way that looks. There are just some things that are just so stark and like flat looking on the cheek when they're a cream or liquid formula. I don't know, they just don't, like the pigment doesn't disperse properly and it just doesn't look super flattering on the cheeks. But yeah, this is just sticky. It remains sticky on the cheeks. I don't like that. I don't like the way that it feels. I don't like the way that it looks. There's so many good formulations out there that this is just one of those that I personally am like, why do I need all of this sticky ass shit when there's so many other good formulations? I'm not a huge fan of like the ColourPop releases recently. The two that I think that they did really well were like the liquid formulas. The liquid blush, really good. The one that was like radiant but not shimmery, and I think they just came out with one that was like shimmery or had sheen to it. And then the liquid highlighter formula, like both of those were really good. Maybe not like super standout in the highlighter because it just wasn't super punchy. That's me personally. I like something like a little bit more punchy. I was building that up quite a bit, but that formulation, not good. Like their last two blush launches, like the soft matte weird thing in the cream was also not my favorite, landed in the worst of beauty. So I don't know. It's kind of like a 50-50 on their blush and highlighter releases for me lately. Okay, this one is like a half and half as well, where I got two shades in this and I like one of the shades like a lot. It didn't land in my best of beauty, but I do like it a lot. This is the Sephora Colorful Blush. This one's in Pink Sunset. The reason I don't like this one is because it's not deep enough to be an actual blush. I was using this as a highlighter and it's okay, it's fine that way, but it is a blush. It's a blush. And I use products all the time for different reasons. If a blush is too light and I can use it as a highlighter, that's fine. Other way around, that's also okay. But I don't need this as a highlighter. And also, like, because it's a thicker, creamier texture, it almost feels like putty. It emphasizes a lot of texture, like unnecessarily more so than, you know, like a really smooth highlighter would. This just looks kind of choppy and thick on the cheeks when you're doing it like on your cheekbone as a highlighter. So I don't know what they were thinking with making a shade like this that just doesn't have any base for a blush specifically, because I'm pretty fair skinned. I don't know, maybe there are people out there lighter than me that like the way this looks, and that's okay. That's going to be true of freaking everything ever. But something that they call a blush that was made to be a blush, I don't know why it is so freaking light. Like, did anybody in testing like put this to their cheeks and say, yeah, that shows up, that looks good, let's go ahead and launch this? Now, granted, this might be like a really light shade in the line. I don't think that there's that many shades that they launched with this. The other shade that I have, that's like the deeper, bright red color, it's so stunning. It's so beautiful on the cheek. It is metallic, but it is still very pretty. Like, it shows up on me and it's got like a gold sheen to it, whereas this one, like, I don't know, it's just all gold as opposed to any pigment whatsoever. All right, another bomb from the drugstore. These were the worst. These were the worst. I have nothing good to say about these. These are the Glimmer Blush Drops from Revlon. These are tacky, they're sticky, they look stark on the cheeks, they don't blend out well. They're thick. They're like this gel-like texture that looks thick on the cheeks. They're awful. They're hard to blend. You can barely get product out with the little pushy thing on the bottom. I hated these. Like, I hated both of these. It's funny because I think I liked the red shade even more. They look really pretty in the tube, like, I'm not gonna lie, but once you get them to the cheeks, they look fonka-donkey. They just do not look right. They don't buff in well. They're way too freaking pigmented. Way too pigmented. They're just opaque. The smallest blush drop takes you so far. You can barely use any of this product and then you have to pick it up with like a wet sponge to buff it out on the cheeks. And I really just don't find that like doing that makes it look any better. Like, I would rather just have the Hourglass ones, to be honest. I would rather just pay the money than to use these. One of these shades is like thicker than the other. One of these shades is more sticky than the other. I want to say it's like the red one. Even though I like this color more on me, I hate this. This formula here is like slightly thicker. I don't know what that's about. It's gotta just be something in the formulation, something with the pigment, I'm not sure. But yeah, I didn't enjoy these at all. I had to force myself to test these. That's how freaking bad they were. I think they're a huge, huge skip. All right, let's move on to highlighters. You guys, this one probably is like not a surprise. Like, when you actually see the packaging, this is the Bubblegum Liquid Highlighter from Essence. You know, I get stuff like this because Essence typically does a good job with their makeup products, but they have like different collections. You know, some stuff looks like it's for children, and then some stuff looks like it's for adults and it's just more affordable. This one obviously is on the verge of like being children's makeup. I just thought it was really cute because the little ball in the middle is like a little squishy ball. It's kind of cute, looks like a little saucer, little bubble gum, I guess. The highlighter formula is terrible. It's PC, it lifts the blush underneath, it's awfully sparkly. The only time that I think that this particularly looks good on me is when I'm setting it on my cheek just by itself. Like, I'm not setting it on top of anything else other than foundation. That's probably the only way that I would like wear this, but like, I always wear blush, so there's no point in that. I don't like the way that this looks. Again, it's kind of one of those things that's like, it's glittery, so it's like maybe more for children. Although I don't mind a glitter, it's just like, I don't like the way that this one looks. It doesn't even rub in super well. Like, when you're doing a swatch, you can even see like it just, the formula kind of doesn't stick together. It kind of separates on itself. So it kind of looks that way on the cheeks too. I didn't enjoy this. This is one of my least favorite products that I tried of all of these in 2025 so far. So yeah, no. I gotta learn to stop doing stuff like that, just like buying things because they're cute. Because if it looks like kids makeup, you know, it's probably kids makeup. All right, this next one I was really sad about. This is the Nude Sticks Nudies Glow. This is an all over face highlighter color. And this one is in the shade I Do. There's no base to this whatsoever. It is all freaking sparkle. I hate it. It looks like it would have color to it, and when you swatch it, there's decent pigment here. I bought this actually because I thought that this shade would be like a nice blush. It looks like it would be, but it's not even a good highlighter because it's all glitter. Once you get it to the cheeks as a highlighter, you don't have any base whatsoever. It's all sparkles, and I'm just not down with that. It's so sparkly, in fact, that like you can feel it from the stick when you swatch it on your hand. It feels gritty. It quite literally feels like the glitters that you see on your cheek when this is all said and done and pounced in. So sad because I really like the Nude Sticks formula. Their glow cores are so freaking good. Even their matte is really good. This was like the first product that I actually didn't care for because of all the sparkles and the fact that it has no base. Not good as a blush, not good as a highlighter. Too many damn sparkles. And if I'm saying that, then it's really not good because I actually like sparkly shit. I like sparkly shit all day, every day. Bring it on. You guys typically will warn me if something is too sparkly. So if it's like that bad, I feel like it kind of says something. Okay, we're actually on to the final 3 products, which are lip products. There was only 3 of them. Yeah, there was only 3, but none of these are good. The first one is the Makeup by Mario lip gloss. They call this the Super Shine lip gloss. This one is in rustic pink. You know, it's not that this is bad. It's not goopy. It's not gross. It's just really sheer. And it reminds me of a drugstore formula for $26. That's why it landed in the video. Not because this is necessarily terrible, but because it fades off really fast, doesn't feel nourishing on the lips, doesn't fill in the lip lines. It's a really smooth formula if that's good, but it's also so smooth that it doesn't stay. I like my glosses to have a little bit of stick-to-itiveness. This just feels kind of like a quintessential lip oil as opposed to a gloss. No real pigment on these. And it's funny because I went to store and I like swatched a crap ton of these. So when they swatch, they're actually somewhat decent. And maybe it's just this shade, but it has no pigment. It's kind of my lip color, so that's a little unfair of me to say, like, oh, these don't have any pigment. But guys, the formula genuinely, to me, feels like a drugstore lip gloss. Like I have other drugstore lip glosses that I think perform like this. This lasts 5 minutes. It's not worth the $26. There's so many other formulas on the market that are good. Now this one actually surprised me. This is the Revolution Pout Lip Oil, Hydrating Lip Oil from, yeah, did I already said it? Revolution in Cherry Red. The reason that I picked this up when it launched this year is because the like hydrating serum lip stain that they launched last year was one of my best and still one of my favorite lip products in my collection. It's so underrated and no one was talking about it. Oh, it was so fabulous, but this sucks. This smells just like kids' cough syrup. It's kind of gross. I don't enjoy it. I don't like the way that smells. I can taste it when I put it on. It's your quintessential lip oil, so that's all fine and dandy, but it fades off in 5.5 seconds and it's basically sheer when it gets to your lips. So I don't know, it wasn't a very expensive product, but the smelling like kids' cough syrup was one of the reasons that I was like, wow, this freaking sucks. Like there's nothing really great about this. It's not terrible other than the smell, but just not being great. I don't know. Just skip it. Okay, this one pains me and it did wind up in my worst of beauty. I don't know if I'm a little surprised because I think I had this in my last speed reviews and I don't know if I would have at that point said it was like the worst, but it's the worst. This is from YSL. This is one of their Love Shine Plumping Lip Oil Gloss Hybrids. This one's in the shade 01. Do you see how freaking pretty this is? This is purple and sparkly in the tube. I won't say that it like looks super purple and sparkly on the lips. You guys will see. So it looks really pretty, but it basically goes on sheer. You can't really see the sparkles. But the reason it wound up in my worst of beauty is because the more that I kept testing this, guess what happened to me? My lips started to develop a rash around like the top part of my lips. I knew that the moment that I put this on when Sephora delivered my order, that it sucked the moisture out of my lips. Like it burns, it's a hot ass plumping. And does it plump? Yes, it actually plumps the shit out of my lips. But it sucked the moisture out so quickly, my lips felt like shriveled up. I immediately had to take it off. But then after I took it off, I literally had like red bumps around the top part of my Cupid's bow. It was so bad, it was like causing me a rash. And I have tried other plumping formulas before. Guys, I don't have very much skin sensitivity to things. There are a lot of people who say like, oh, I can't use niacinamide or like whatever it is. I just skip right through. I throw pretty much anything on my face. I just don't have a lot of sensitivities. And for this product to do that to my freaking lips, holy shit, there's something in here that just doesn't agree with me. Like it'll go away after like 10 minutes or so, but it literally will cause like red bumps around the top of my lip. So don't get this. If you have any kind of sensitivity, don't like plumping. This is gonna hurt like hell. It's not worth it. It's such a freaking shame too, because this color is freaking beautiful. If they could do like a lip gloss formula without the plumping version, like I would be all over it. Well, my best of beauty had like almost an hour's worth of footage because there was a lot more in there. There wasn't as much this time. I mean, I kind of like that. You know, I'd rather there be less products in my worst of beauty so that I'm not wasting a shit ton of money. A lot of this stuff may work for like my sister or my grandmother, so you know, I'll pass it along belong to them so it doesn't get wasted. But if you guys are interested in seeing all of my favorite products of the year, please check out my channel because that video is already up. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys aren't currently subscribed, I would love to see you subscribe so you can stick around. I'm out of here and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Bye guys.